there lived a man named Gabenga. He was known throughout the village for his strikingly handsome appearance, with chiseled features and a captivating smile that could melt any heart. Despite his outward charm, Gabenga harbored a secret fear deep within him, a fear of an early death. One day, Gabenga sought the advice of a local herbalist, hoping to find a solution to his looming fate. The herbalist, a wise and weathered old man, listened intently to Gabenga's concerns before revealing a startling prophecy. Gabenga was destined to die young unless he married a dwarf. Shocked by the revelation, Gabenga questioned the herbalist about how marrying a dwarf could possibly prolong his life. The herbalist explained that it was written in the stars, and that only a dwarf with a specific mark could grant him the longevity he sought. Gabenga embarked on a quest to find the dwarf who held the key to his destiny. He went round the village, searching high and low for any sign of the prophesied mark. Along the way, he encountered numerous obstacles and distractions, including the persistent advances of average-height girls who were drawn to his undeniable charm. Despite these distractions, Gabenga remained focused on his mission, determined to fulfill the prophecy and secure his future. Little did he know, his journey would lead him down a path of deceit and betrayal. He started pretending to be in love with all the dwarfs he came across. He would make them feel loved and even sleep with them, only to dump them after realizing that they do not have the prophesied mark. He used the prophesied mark that he was searching for as an excuse to sleep with almost all the dwarfs in the village. As Gabenga continued in his quest to find the dwarf with the prophesied mark, he found himself facing a new challenge: the relentless pursuit of average-height girls who were drawn to his irresistible charm. Despite his determination to stay focused on his mission, Gabenga found it increasingly difficult to resist the temptation of these girls who threw themselves at him. Their flattering words and seductive gestures tempted him, and he began to waver in his commitment to finding the dwarf who could prolong his life. Each encounter with these girls pulled Gabenga farther away from his true purpose, blurring the lines between his quest for longevity and his desire for temporary pleasure. He found himself succumbing to their advances, indulging in fleeting moments of passion that left him feeling empty and guilty. Yet, amidst the whirlwind of temptation and deceit, Gabenga could not shake the lingering fear of his impending demise. The herbalist's prophecy haunted him, serving as a constant reminder of the urgency of his mission. Caught between his fear of death and the allure of earthly pleasures, Gabenga faced a moral dilemma that threatened to consume him. Little did he know, his actions would soon come back to haunt him, leading to consequences he could never have imagined. As Gabenga continued to indulge in his affairs with the average-height girls, word of his deceitful behavior began to spread throughout the village. Whispers and rumors circulated, painting Gabenga as a heartless seducer who toyed with the emotions of the village girls. Soon, the dwarfs in the village caught wind of Gabenga's treachery. Angered and betrayed, they confronted him, demanding answers for his deceptive actions. Gabenga, caught off guard and unable to offer a satisfactory explanation, found himself facing the wrath of those he had wronged. The dwarfs, once enamored by Gabenga's charm, now viewed him with disdain and distrust. They felt used and manipulated, their hearts broken by the very man they had once admired. Gabenga's reputation, once held in high regard, now lay in ruins as he faced the consequences of his actions. The dwarfs gathered together and beat Gabenga up, promising to report him to the king if he dare try to deceive any one of them again. Despite the mounting backlash, Gabenga remained determined to fulfill the prophecy and find the dwarf with the prophesied mark. He searched tirelessly, driven by a desperate desire to escape his fate and secure his future. Yet, with each passing day, Gabenga's quest grew more perilous. his path fraught with obstacles and challenges. Despite the turmoil caused by his deceitful actions, Gbenga remained resolute in his quest to find the dwarf with the prophesied mark. He scoured every corner of the village, searching for any sign that would lead him to his destined bride. Days turned into weeks, and just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Gbenga's perseverance paid off. In a chance encounter at the village market, he spotted a young dwarf woman named Remy, her face illuminated by a gentle smile that captured his heart. As Gbenga approached her, a feeling of certainty washed over him. Could this be the dwarf he had been searching for all along? With bated breath, he examined Remy closely, searching for the prophesied mark that would confirm her as his destined bride. And there it was, a faint yet unmistakable mark on Remy's wrist, just as the herbalist had described. In that moment, Gbenga's heart swelled with hope and relief. He had found her, the one who held the key to his future. Gbenga approached Remy, his heart overflowing with gratitude and anticipation. He immediately expressed his feelings to her, even though he had doubts that Remy might have heard about what happened between him and the other dwarfs, which could stop her from accepting their friendship proposal. To his surprise and joy, Remy listened attentively, her eyes filled with understanding and acceptance. She, too, had felt a connection to Gbenga from the moment they met, and she was willing to be together with Gbenga. As they stood hand in hand, Gbenga knew that his search was finally over. With Remy by his side, he felt a sense of peace and purpose that he had never known before. However, their newfound happiness was short-lived as they faced opposition from the villagers, who were skeptical of their union. They questioned Gbenga's motives and expressed concern for Remy's well-being. However, despite the doubts and whispers that surrounded them, Gbenga remained steadfast in his commitment to Remy. He pleaded with his people to accept their love and respect their decision to be together. As Gbenga and Remy worked through their challenges and strengthened their bond, they knew that their love was true and unbreakable. Despite the initial skepticism and opposition from the villagers, Gbenga and Remy were determined to cement their commitment to each other through marriage. With the blessing of their families and the reluctant acceptance of the community, Gbenga and Remy prepared for their wedding day. The village was adorned with colorful decorations, and the air was filled with anticipation and excitement. As Gbenga stood at the altar, his heart pounded with nervous anticipation. He couldn't believe that the day he had dreamed of was finally here, the day he would marry the woman who would change his life and fate forever. Remy, radiant in her wedding attire, walked down the aisle with grace and elegance. As she approached Gbenga, their eyes met, and a sense of serenity washed over them both. In that moment, they knew that they were meant to be together, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The ceremony was a beautiful celebration of love and unity, with vows exchanged and promises made to cherish each other for eternity. Gbenga and Remy sealed their commitment with a kiss, surrounded by their loved ones who rejoiced in their happiness. As they danced under the stars, Gbenga and Remy knew that their journey as husband and wife had only just begun. Together, they would navigate the ups and downs of life, knowing that their love would guide them through any storm. As they looked forward to their future together, Gbenga and Remy were filled with hope and gratitude for the love they had found in each other. After the joyous celebration of their wedding, Gbenga and Remy settled into married life, hopeful for a future filled with love and happiness. However, despite his vows of fidelity, Gbenga found himself struggling with temptation once again. As days turned into weeks, Gbenga's determination weakened, and he began to succumb to the familiar lure of infidelity. He found himself drawn to the attention and admiration of other women, unable to resist their advances. At first, Gbenga tried to justify his actions, convincing himself that he was simply seeking validation or distraction from his insecurities. However, deep down, he knew that he was betraying the trust of the woman he had promised to love and cherish for eternity. Remy, blind to Gabenga's deceit, continued to shower him with love and affection, believing that their bond was unbreakable. Little did she know, her husband's heart was straying, and their marriage was slowly unraveling before her eyes. Despite his guilt and shame, Gabenga found himself unable to resist the thrill of his secret affairs. Each encounter fueled his desire for more, blinding him to the pain he was causing his devoted wife. As Gabenga's betrayal became more obvious, whispers of his infidelity began to spread throughout the village once again. Remy, unaware of the rumors swirling around her, remained steadfast in her love for Gabenga, believing in the strength of their marriage. However, as the truth of Gabenga's infidelity came to light, Remy was devastated. She could hardly believe that the man she loved and trusted had betrayed her in such a cruel manner. With a heavy heart, she sought solace and answers from those who could provide them. Remy turned to a trusted friend who suggested seeking guidance from another herbalist in the village. Desperate for clarity, Remy visited the herbalist, hoping to uncover the truth behind her husband's actions and their marriage. The herbalist, wise and perceptive, listened to Remy's tale of woe with compassion and understanding. With a solemn expression, he revealed the shocking truth that Gabenga had kept hidden from her, the reason behind their marriage. As Remy listened in disbelief, the herbalist explained Gabenga's desperation to prolong his life, the prophecy that had led him to her, and the deceitful intentions behind their union. The herbalist also warned Remy of the danger that awaits if she remained in that marriage. Her life was at stake. Remy's heart shattered into a million pieces as she realized the depth of Gabenga's betrayal. Feeling betrayed and used, Remy's emotions were in turmoil. How could Gabenga marry her, professing love and devotion, only to betray her with other women? The pain of the revelation cut deep, leaving Remy questioning everything she had ever believed about love and trust. Distraught and confused by the revelations from the herbalist, Remy grappled with the harsh reality of her marriage to Gabenga. She couldn't comprehend how he could deceive her in such a callous manner, all in the pursuit of his own selfish desires. As Remy struggled to make sense of her emotions, the herbalist's warning echoed in her mind. He had cautioned her about the danger her marriage to Gabenga posed to her life, a chilling revelation that sent shivers down her spine. Fearing for her safety, Remy sought the counsel of trusted friends and family members, hoping for guidance in this time of uncertainty. Their concern only deepened her anxiety, as they urged her to consider the implications of staying with a man who had betrayed her trust so grievously. Haunted by doubts and fears, Remy found herself at a crossroads, torn between her love for Gabenga and the need to protect herself from further harm. She knew that she couldn't ignore the herbalist's warning, yet the thought of leaving Gabenga filled her with a sense of profound sadness and loss. In a moment of clarity, Remy realized that she couldn't allow fear to dictate her future. She refused to be a victim of Gabenga's deceit, determined to reclaim her independence and strength. With a steely resolve, Remy made the difficult decision to confront Gabenga and demand answers. She would no longer allow herself to be controlled by fear or uncertainty. Whatever the outcome, Remy was determined to take control of her own destiny and forge a path forward, guided by courage and resilience. Remy's heart pounded with anxiety as she approached Gabenga, her mind consumed with a whirlwind of emotions. She knew that confronting him would not be easy, but she couldn't continue to live in the shadow of his betrayal. As she stood before him, her voice quivered with emotion as she demanded answers. Gabenga's expression shifted from surprise to guilt as he realized the gravity of the situation. He knew that he had hurt Remy deeply, and the weight of his actions bore down on him like a heavy burden. With tears streaming down her cheeks, Remy poured out her heart to Gbenga, expressing the pain and betrayal she felt at his deceit. She questioned his motives and begged him to explain why he had married her if he had no intention of honoring their vows. Caught off guard by Remy's raw honesty and vulnerability, Gbenga struggled to find the right words to express his remorse. He knew that he had no excuse for his actions, and the shame of his betrayal weighed heavily on his conscience. In a desperate plea for forgiveness, Gbenga promised to change his ways and make amends for the pain he had caused. He swore to be faithful and loyal to Remy for the rest of his days, pleading with her to give their love another chance. However, Remy's heart remained guarded, her trust shattered by Gbenga's betrayal. Despite his tearful pleas and promises, she knew that she couldn't simply forgive and forget. The wounds he had inflicted ran deep, and she needed time to heal. With a heavy heart, Remy made the difficult decision to walk away from Gbenga, knowing that she deserved better than to be constantly betrayed and deceived. She refused to be a pawn in his game of lies and manipulation, choosing instead to reclaim her dignity and self-worth. As Gbenga watched helplessly as Remy walked away, he knew that he had lost the one person who had ever truly loved him and who would have saved him from his unfortunate fate. With a sense of profound regret, he realized the magnitude of his mistakes and the consequences of his actions. But it was too late. Remy had made her decision, and Gbenga was left to face the consequences of his betrayal alone. With Remy's departure, Gbenga was consumed by a sense of despair and desperation. He knew that he had brought this upon himself with his deceit and betrayal, yet he couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness that now consumed him. In a moment of clarity, Gbenga realized that he had to face the consequences of his actions and confront the harsh reality of his fate. He knew that his only chance of prolonging his life lay in staying faithfully married to Remy, as the herbalist had warned. Driven by a newfound determination, Gbenga sought out the herbalist once again, hoping for guidance and redemption. With a heavy heart, he confessed his sins and begged for a chance to make amends for his past mistakes. The herbalist listened intently to Gbenga's tale of woe, his expression grave and solemn. After a moment of contemplation, he revealed the harsh truth that Gbenga had been trying to evade. His fate was intricately tied to Remy, and only by staying true to her could he hope to prolong his life. Gbenga's heart sank as the weight of the herbalist's words settled upon him. He realized that he had no choice but to accept his destiny and beg for Remy's forgiveness, no matter how unlikely it seemed. With a renewed sense of purpose, Gbenga set out to find Remy and plead for her mercy. He knew that winning back her trust would be no easy task, but he was willing to do whatever it took to make amends for his past mistakes and prove his love for her. As Gbenga stood before Remy, his heart heavy with remorse and regret, he poured out his soul to her. He confessed his sins, his betrayal, and the depths of his love for her. He begged for her forgiveness, knowing that his fate hung in the balance. Remy listened to Gbenga's words with a mixture of sadness and anger. She couldn't deny the pain he had caused her, nor could she ignore the betrayal that had shattered their marriage. Yet, beneath the layers of hurt and betrayal, she still loved him, and a part of her longed to believe that he could change. But as Gbenga pleaded for another chance, Remy remained resolute. She couldn't ignore the warning of the herbalist, nor could she overlook the betrayal that had torn their marriage apart. She knew that she deserved better than to be constantly deceived and betrayed, and she refused to compromise her self-worth for the sake of Gbenga's redemption. With a heavy heart, Remy rejected Gbenga's pleas for forgiveness, knowing that it was the only way to protect herself from further harm. She couldn't allow herself to be drawn back into a relationship built on lies and deceit, no matter how much she still loved him. As Gbenga watched Remy walk away, his heart shattered into a million pieces. He knew that he had lost the one person who had ever truly loved him, and he couldn't bear the thought of facing his fate alone. With Remy's rejection weighing heavily on his heart, Gbenga knew that he had reached a crossroads in his life. He couldn't continue down the path of deceit and betrayal that had led him to this point. If he wanted any chance at redemption, he had to confront his past and make amends for his mistakes. Determined to change his ways, Gbenga sought out the herbalist once again, desperate for guidance and forgiveness. With humility in his heart, he confessed his sins and vowed to atone for the pain he had caused. The herbalist listened attentively to Gbenga's words, his expression grave and contemplative. After a moment of silence, he offered Gbenga a glimmer of hope. Redemption was possible, but it would require great sacrifice and unwavering dedication. He must win back Remy's trust with honesty. Only then would the negativity in their life disappear. With renewed determination, Gbenga accepted the herbalist's challenge. He knew that he had to prove himself worthy of Remy's love and trust, even if it meant facing his destiny alone. Armed with newfound purpose, Gbenga set out on a journey of self-discovery and redemption. He sought to mend the broken pieces of his heart and rebuild the trust he had shattered with his deceitful actions. Along the way, Gbenga faced countless obstacles and challenges, each one testing his resolve and pushing him to his limits. But through it all, he remained steadfast in his commitment to change, knowing that his future depended on it. As he reflected on his past mistakes and the pain he had caused, Gbenga realized the true value of love and honesty. He vowed to never again take the trust of others for granted, and to always strive to be the best version of himself. With each step forward, Gbenga grew stronger and more resilient. He knew that the road to redemption would not be easy, but he was determined to walk it with courage and conviction. As he looked towards the future with hope and determination, Gbenga knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he would face them head-on, guided by the lessons he had learned and the love he still held in his heart. He also hoped that one day Remy would give him another chance, both in her life and at life.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell in order to be notified when another video is being posted.